you were to ask me how I would describe most Mario games, I would depict them as giant, beautifully realized playgrounds. Masterfully constructed areas that allow you to play around with different moves, overcome obstacles, and try out new tricks you will attempt to master. A good word you could use to describe these games is the word play. And Mario games are all about this. You're given a fun mechanic and the space to play around and become more accustomed to it. This is what Mario Odyssey is all about. Being dropped into an open level with an objective but no real linear path, left to play around with the gimmicks and provided the perfect playground to try them out in. And the only way I can truly describe it is pure joyous fun. This was actually a clear intention for the team behind Mario Odyssey. Kenta Murakura, Mario Odyssey's director, makes this apparent in an interview he took part in for GQ.com, making the point that Mario games are meant to be instant fun right when you pick up the controls. So how is this achieved? Let's take a look. In the same interview with GQ.com, Kenta also emphasized that it's important to give the player choices. They can try different things, and when they do, the game reacts in some way. So there's some kind of relationship between what the player does and what the game gives back. Odyssey is all about this idea of giving you options. Options, or choices in the context of Mario Odyssey, means providing different ways to scale the same obstacles or progress towards the same objective. For example, in the Tostarena Ruins, a floating platform is shown moving back and forth between two ledges. You can take this path and avoid the bullet bills flying at you, or you can take over a bullet bill and simply fly across. Neither option is the traditionally correct method. Instead, the choice is left up to the player. Odyssey is full of these open-ended designs, presenting a problem and often giving you many different ways to solve it. This is the first of 3 game design principles Mario Odyssey's kingdoms include. The second principle is objective conveyance. This is a relatively common element in level design, especially in Nintendo games. You're presented with a key objective right from the start. This objective might be to reach a certain area or take out a particular enemy. The only thing between you and the objective is the environment itself. A series of micro-obstacles or micro-objectives that you have to complete first, that put you one step closer to your objective, whether that's scaling a certain cliff or getting a key for a particular door. Mario Odyssey lets you play around in these open-ended levels and reach the objective in a semi-direct fashion, so you're given a sense of direction or objective and left to figure out how you want to go about it. This often becomes more complex and or difficult with each kingdom as the game goes on. The third and final principle is multi-step design, something we consistently see across many Nintendo IPs, but most commonly seen throughout the Mario series. You're presented a mechanic in simple fashion, which increases in difficulty and or complexity as the level progresses. So you're introduced to the mechanic, and as you become more familiar with it, the level continues to ramp up the difficulty. Mario's ability to control different creatures in the kingdoms is where this takes place. Every level has a variety of new enemies to control, each with their own quirks and abilities. I covered this principle with more depth in my previous video, analyzing Arbiter's Grounds from The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Now, let's apply these 3 principles to the first proper level of Mario Odyssey, the Cascade Kingdom. The Cascade Kingdom is the first proper level of Mario Odyssey, and is the equivalent of a Jurassic playground, with massive chain chomps, cliffs to scale, and even a T-Rex to emphasize the metaphor. Once you arrive, your first objective is lined up for you. Head over and collect the Power Moon inside the rocks. Simple enough. Here you can choose to head on straight for it, or explore a bit. The game gives you a post you can climb to view the level up ahead and some of its secrets, and even some purple coins behind a line of rocks, rewarding you in 2 unique ways for exploring. Moving on, you're presented multiple ways to scale this small cliff here. You can run up the ramp and deal with some burbos, or use this peculiar hat cloud and tree trunk to help you jump across the gap. Or you can just scale the cliff your own way, if you've got enough of a grip on the controls that is. Each option requires you to deal with a different obstacle with a different level of challenge, each catering to a unique playstyle. If you're confident with the controls, you'll likely have a go at scaling the cliff, or at the very least, leaping the gap. On from here, you have your first encounter with the central mechanic of the Cascade Kingdom, the chain chomps and the breakable rocks. It's located in a clearly marked space and will act even if you're safely out of its reach. so you can see how chain chomps behave in a safe environment. But what's also worth noting are the number of breakable rocks around the chain chomp, one of which is located where you would approach from the ramp. So it's likely that the chain chomp will break it, demonstrating its function organically and seamlessly. Even if it doesn't break them on its own, they're still in the foreground of your view, so you're inclined to use them as a mini seamless tutorial, with rewards for using the chain chomp correctly. And just like that, you achieve your objective. And all 3 design principles are introduced in this small first segment, albeit in a simple fashion. Now for the rest of the level, we can apply these same 3 principles again, but on a larger, more in-depth scale. You're shown a larger scale objective, reach Madame Brody at the top of the cliff, and lift the figure out your own way. And you can get pretty creative with how you want to get up there. Your options become more challenging, but more rewarding. For example, jumping up these hat clouds and getting some purple coins at the end. This example is an amplified version of the previous obstacle, with higher challenge and higher reward. Another great example is right before the boss. You can either use these 2 chain chomps in succession to reach this breakable rock, or you can sneakily dive jump around it to the other side. Neither of these is the correct way to do it, but both require different levels of understanding and skill to achieve. The central mechanics, breakable rocks and the chain chomps, are expanded in a variety of ways, with more rewards and secrets for you to find, and chain chomps which are bigger or in larger numbers, bringing their own twist on the mechanic. And of course, there's the T-Rex, who needs no introduction, allowing you to break rocks and travel further than chain chomps, but only for a certain period of time, and it was just a whole lot of fun to control. You also have the boss of the Cascade Kingdom, Madame Brody, who builds on this multi-layered mechanic with her pet chain chomp. The bosses in Mario Odyssey are one of its weaker points for sure, considering many lack challenge or particularly interesting mechanics. But Madame Brody uses the central theme of the kingdom while adding additional layers of challenge and a new twist, like a boss should. The Cascade Kingdom also provides you plenty of opportunities to try out your moves at a difficult jump or scaling a certain cliff, leaving around a variety of areas just slightly out of your reach that provoke you into trying to conquer them. This gives you room to perfect your control of Mario in a satisfying and very organic way. Throw all of this together with some sneaky collectibles and good replayability, and you've got a pretty fantastically well-designed level. This can be said for a large majority of the kingdoms in Mario Odyssey. With such precise controls, Mario Odyssey will surely go down as another fantastic entry among other 3D Mario titles for speedrunners and completionist fanatics alike, giving complete freedom to those who put in the effort to master the game's mechanics, and allow them to perform some pretty crazy stuff you traditionally wouldn't think possible. Mario Odyssey provides you with a variety of beautiful playgrounds in the form of kingdoms to play around in, each with their own challenges and mechanics to master. So, next time you play through one of Mario Odyssey's kingdoms, try and identify these 3 design principles and see how they differ compared to other kingdoms. Or perhaps apply these principles to levels from other games and see how well they fit. I'm PrimeHylian, and thanks for watching.